Gum or Joba. All right.
Next topic. Next topic.
We are hardworking.
It's very, very interesting topic to me because I'll explain why. My son is 19-year-old and he was born here. He is U.S. citizen. Now, if I get him, he's eligible. If I get him Georgian passport, he is under, like he flew today to vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Then they can take him to army. It's mandatory as a Georgian citizen.
But is he a citizen of the States or?
Yes, U.S. citizen too.
So he's it's like a dual citizenship?
Yes, I'm dual citizen.
Okay, okay.
I think he has two, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So, and that's it. I decided not to get him Georgian passport.
Mm-hmm.
Another friend of mine, he's coming and bringing his son here because he will be eligible for army soon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want your perspective, from when you were 19, you had you had choice.
Yes.
You didn't have to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like 50 more years ago, it was mandatory here.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, for this Girchi party, it's huge topic because they are the only party who fighting against mandatory service, and they found a loophole into law, and there is a loophole which says if you are a priest, you are exempt.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys, these guys created biblical freedom, it's called. This is their logo. Biblical freedom, they created church.
Okay.
So you go to office, you are 19, you're eligible, either you have to go, you are good at something, you see good singer, good programmist, whatever, good roofer, and government comes and takes 2 years out of your life.
Right.
You have to go there. And they created this church, so this 19-year-old who has no choice goes there, gets the paper that he's priest,
Right.
pays whatever, $15 equivalent.
Yeah.
Now he's priest.
Okay.
So they found loophole.
Yeah, good for them.
And that's how now government is trying to stop this church, make it illegal, and that's the whole fight. But that's not relevant. Just as an American young guy, how do you look at it? Like, is mandatory bad, or it's how? Just tell us about.
Yeah, well, I can say that when I was 19 years old, it would have been like 2004, and we were in a war, right? So we were in the war. Well, the war in Iraq lasted a very long time, but it was very, very violent and very much a part of life then. With that said, I never even considered or thought of joining the military. It's just not the path that I was interested in taking. With that said, we gave a lot of respect to the people that did join that fight, and it was I think a good fight in that the idea was to go and liberate Iraq and find terrorists, right, and kill terrorists. So that's very noble, right? To go and kill terrorists, I think, is some of the best work you could do. You know, talk about doing God's work to eradicate this area of people that just wake up hating people and wanting to kill them just because of the way that they think, is the polar opposite of what it means to be American. And I think what God would want, which is let people be who they are without being persecuted for it. In terms of what you're telling me here is it's kind of like not apples to apples, and that's because we have, first of all, a huge population, and we have a lot more men that are willing to serve. So we haven't had that problem since the Vietnam War, where there was a draft. So if I were to put my father was in this position where he was of military age during that war. If you were in college or something like that, you could get around that, and I think that's what happened with him. He was he and all his brothers were all very, very smart. It's a tough one. It kind of depends on who you're fighting for, I think. Because let me back up. As far as a draft goes and going,
but there is no war, no fight.
Right.
Today, my son is 19.
Yeah.
Okay. No
you're
big war.
Not at war, but you're in pretty close proximity to a pretty serious conflict, though. To be fair.
I hope they can avoid it.
Sure. Me too. We all do. We all think it's horrible. As far as that, we'll get to that, but. If I were to go back in time and there was a situation where we needed men and we were fighting for something that I believed in, I would go. I would go. If I didn't believe in my country and I didn't believe in the way that it was ran and I felt that there was issues with control and people in positions of power that could not send their own kids. I don't know if you guys know, but it's very, very famous that almost all of our presidents are not only war veterans, but heroes. A lot of these guys, a lot of the people in our politics are these guys are war heroes, wounded in combat. John McCain, who ran for president, I think he passed away just a few years ago. He was tortured in Vietnam. He's a war hero. George Bush was a veteran. These guys were no joke, man. They were serious, tough guys. And that's who we trusted to run our country. But, that's not happening now, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, but there could be, that's you saying I would go. That's you, fine. But there could be someone I would never go, who will say I would never go.
Mm-hmm. Well,
is that guy is bad guy in your eyes?
I think it not necessarily. I think it really depends. I hate to give you the attorney answer, but I think things depend on, the country. Like if you really believe in your country and you're willing to go die for it, which is what you're putting on the line, then, that's a conversation. If I didn't believe in it in any way, I would probably do everything I could to get out of it, right? Unless, you're not at war. Nobody's occupying your country. Nobody's kicking your door in. I wouldn't feel inclined to have to go. It would be very upsetting if it was
It's not today's day. It's not necessarily everybody to serve the country does not mean literally to go there. You can be do coding.
Sure, you could be a cook. You
can sit here and bomb somewhere in Moscow.
Understood. But the point is, you're still in the military. Right?
Yes,
you're still in the military. You've been taken from your.
Okay. Yes.
I guess I get that your life's not always on the line if you're sweeping the floors.
Right.
But in some ways, it's been taken from you. You're now a part of a system. You no longer have your individualism.
Yeah.
When you're in the military, you're part of a unit.
You need to listen to the commands.
For sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
so
The military it's serious. It's really serious. The way that they have order and it's But that's why we've fought so hard in so many different ways all over the world to protect this way and try to be an example to the world.
How is now? You never go, right? In the military?
Never been in the military. No.
But if you want to go, you have a contract, right?
Well, I'm too old now, but if you
let's say young kids.
If you want to join the military, you generally work with a recruiter. There's recruiter places.
Oh, they should accept you.
Yeah, if you're
they
able-bodied.
Have hundreds of benefits.
No.
Everything, and still, they need advertising billboards on 95.
Yeah. People don't
to recruit.
Not a lot of people want to go into the military. Some people do.
I know you need to take some test.
You do.
But topic here is.
Would you want to go?
Look, the biggest question is, it's not technicalities. When you said I didn't want to go, if they took you by force, would you consider yourself slave? Why am I asking this? Because the slogan of this movement of our party is no to slavery. Slave is big word.
It is. It's a strong word. Mm-hmm.
So if they took you in 2004 by force to Iraq,
Yes.
would you say, okay, and now I'm a slave?
At war, in the nature of that war, no, because of that war. You're not even if we weren't at war, right? If we were to do apples to apples, similar comparison, we're not at war. We're at peacetime. There is a conflict. It hasn't escalated or even begun to escalate in my area. It would be upsetting to be drafted, or be forced into.
Because you see, it's not necessary.
Yes, of course, yeah, and you're just losing 2 years.
Yeah, but they say we prepare you for big threats. We need to make you slave now.
When we drafted people in Vietnam, you would come off the street, you go through a 6-week boot camp, and you're in a forest.
No questions.
You're ready to go. Like it can be. Believe me, you can train people real quick, if needed.
But Second World War, was not like this.
Second World War, frankly, George, I'm not sure. I think there was a draft for the Second World War as well. I think.
Do you have a son?
No, I have all daughters, which is also upsetting.
Well, I would ask you from point of father's view.
I meant to talk about that. It would be horrible. I can't imagine.
No, what I'm saying, it's a big difference. Eventually you get quality of your military. When you force people and your soldiers are like
just whoever
individuals who does not want it to go. Like you remember, like imagine like in your business, you got workers,
sure.
They don't want to work.
Yeah, they're horrible, right? No, absolutely. Yeah, I totally get
But they are another quality you are getting when you have people, they want to go, right? So that's why it's matter. So what is a goal to do this? To have a quality something, like on this case military. So you need to find people who wants to go like in America, in here right now.
Yep.
And even when you find these people who wants to go, then you need to make them to take test. So you don't take everybody, even from that people who wants to go. You choose from them too.
Right. Yep.
So that's quality starting from. So look how you start. You start like taking people who does not want leave alone the test.
Yep.
So you're taking like who does not want to go, and you want to get like a really good army. It's not gonna happen.
Well, and also, George, take it back like a step further. Like, what are you fighting for? How much? Now, I think, especially talking about people love the Georgian people. They love Georgia. They love the culture. It's old. He tells me a lot about it. And it's probably something to fight for. That's kind of like here. People are incredibly patriotic here. Like, people are ready to die for America, like, for sure. Luckily, we don't have to have those conversations right now of like who's going and when and where. So, that's something. I mean, I feel for you for that. But you're right, because now the people that are in we have like a reserve, so you can sign up for, it's called, I think, selective serve. So you're like on the list. Like if something starts going down, you might get called in, and then. So there's active military. There's people right now all over the world.
You never had the citizenship exam, but I had because I needed to naturalization of this. And end of that all test was a question: if America need your service for the military, would you go? And I say yes. Probably it's.
If you say no, it's disqualified.
Like delete this one. Yeah.
But that was like it's now formally, but it was a question there.
Yeah.
So, if something happens, we are again. It's a common. We cannot. Just
kind of going back to the same.
Yeah, right. It always comes to this. So
right.
So yeah, what you were saying,
Well, I
like
was just
about
saying,
the
I was saying,
quality, right?
and yeah, like if we
what
go
you want to
back,
get.
people, one, they're very patriotic. They love this country. They're happy to fight for it. And then the people that, we have levels of people that have signed up, whether it's selective service, active, and then we have all different layers of people. But yeah, we're kind of getting, you should see some of these guys that go into the military, man. Like I said, you go over those flyover states, those rural states, these farm boys, man, like they're happy to go. These guys are like as tough as they come. Some of these American
they are
people,
dream
happy to go, ready to go, like that. Well, they want to go. There's a lot of people like that.
Yes.
That want to. Their father went, their grandfather went. They're going, whether there's a war or not. So we have a lot of those people, right? So we have a big stock of just military men and women that are ready to go, and then we have people on the back burner, and that so on and so forth, and none of it is forced. So it's a pretty good system right now. We've had a lot of peace for the most part, so it's been easier to build up. But
yeah, but America came to conclusion 50 years ago that it can't be mandatory.
here, right? Yeah, we no longer have a draft
So
here.
we're still discussing it there.
Mm.
And like he said, it's not just rights or slave or not slave. It's about quality of what you're doing, like quality of military. If 80 of 100 doesn't want to fight, then you got bad military.
Oh well, you're gonna like guys that are scared or your head's got to be in the fight for sure. I mean, what can I say? There's no good answer. You're right, but also, there's sometimes you need bodies. It's a morbid way to put it, but sometimes you just need a body. And I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but when things get really dicey and you're in a conflict, it's like, there might be one soldier who's a real bred soldier that is good as 10 guys. But you'd probably like to have him and 10 more guys, behind him, even if they do screw some stuff up. I don't know. There's no good answer there. But
but you need to pay for them. So that's the mandatory pushing people to go.
Yep.
That means they don't pay.
Yeah, they're paid, right?
No, they don't pay anything.
They don't pay the soldiers?
So they pay very little, like $10 a month.
No, the American soldiers are pretty well paid, and
benefits.
And then they get really good benefits.
UN here, when was mandatory, we are paying, right? They got the salary.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, and there's some guys in the military that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. They're high ranking.
Yeah,
but average soldiers, they don't make a lot, but they immediately start getting pension and help. They have
own bank.
Yeah,
low rates.
Yes,
and it's a lot of benefits.
There's more than one. They have lots of banks.
There is a movie too, like marrying a soldier was business, for girl.
Yep.
Because she would get everything,
all the money,
benefits.
Yep.
And it was like fictitious marriages back then. And they made movie.
Yep.
I don't remember movie, but it's a famous movie.
But why they called it's pretty close to slavery in the countries where
because you're forced to work for no money.
So that's definition of slavery.
Yes, I know. Not the smartest guy, George, but I know slavery.
So if somebody from comes here and they ask tell me what is slavery, or what do you say?
You're forced to work
without money.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what it is.
It is. It maybe could be.
You can say by definition.
Yeah. Yep. To play devil's advocate, it can be a little bit more complicated than that.
Yes.
But
if
you're going to take somebody and put in the military, they probably should be paid for sure. Whether or not they should be taken there or not, I think is up for debate a little bit.
Okay,
but whether or not they should be paid, that shouldn't even be a question. Whether or not somebody should be paid, of course they should be paid.
Yeah, that was a tradition there from Soviets. So 2 years of your life,
yes,
you own. When you born,
Yep,
you already own the country.
That- that's
the
that's in
Yeah.
a lot of. I know, like as I said multiple times, my buddy from Brazil, same thing. You had to go to the military and
Right.
serve a few years, whatever it was. I think a lot of countries do it that way. Luckily, it's not how it is here.
So they taking 2 years of your life,
Yeah. Yep.
but maybe you die like next year.
Good. You could. Yeah. Anything could happen.
It's done.
Yeah. Anything could happen. Yeah. No, that's
Closed.
scary.
We close this topic. Now let's move to a topic where it doesn't matter if you have boys or not.
Okay.
5 daughters you have.
Yes.
Education is the big too.
Oh yeah. Big time.
Like, do you have a freedom to choose where your daughters can study, which school they could go? Like how?
Of course. Do
Easy
other
answer.
people not have that?
No, you said
Do people not have that? Because
What is the question?
question is like let's talk education. Education.
But, like-
what is like what we're fighting for?
so, and just real quick, just I don't know anything about the Georgian education, but are you saying that it's mostly just like public school and a public program, or is it?
You can't open school without you can't take your kids to whatever school you want. Like if George opens school, he needs like governments.
No, it's you can open now private school, but it's
Teachers.
mostly same as a public school because you have to get regulation from the Department of
Your
Education,
teachers has to be
and it's regulated. You have no room there to slide it.
Right,
So
like
it's
and the curriculum is the
yeah,
curriculum.
it's like hour by hour. So then, what is the sense if you
Yeah,
the
doesn't matter where
copy
you go.
of this?
Right.
Why people pay money?
Yeah.
Because you have no freedom
Mm-hmm.
to make totally different approach of
Yeah.
how to educate the kids.
Yeah, so I'll give you a real life example because I'm going through it right now. So my 3-year-old, this is 3 years old. We just visited 4 different preschools. She's not even in school yet, and we went to 4 different schools to see how they do things. Like, is it clean? What kind of amenities do they have? What do they teach the kids?
Private school.
These are all these are all
kindergarten.
kindergarten schools, preschools. Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of different churches have them. Some of them are Montessori schools. There's a lot of different schooling here. There's a lot of private. There's a lot of the offshoots of regular grade schools, but mostly this kind of stuff that's before grade school even is mostly private. So we're talking to the teachers, watching how they operate, and talking to the staff. So you could not only do you have the choice to pick your school, but you could go look at 100 schools if you want, right? And another thing that's interesting is as you progress through schooling, especially people that are high earners, they can send their schools to private schools as you get older, which get really high end. I mean, really high end. Like the George School in Newtown, Max, if you know there. I mean, I think it's $100,000 a year for kids to go there. Now, this is where Warren Buffett's children went. So you can spend as much as you want. Again, tying America back into money. What does money get you? It can get you better education, better connections, these kinds of things. So we know for sure, statistically that education is directly correlated to income, and we know that income is directly related to your quality of life, right? So these are critical that we are putting the kids in the right school early, and they're developing right habits and thought patterns early on, and how to think independently and be independent kids and young adults. And around us, Huntington Valley, just outside of Philly, again, we're going to go back to how this ties in with government. But when you get into Council Rock School District, which is right around here, Central, these are really good, some of the best in the country, these schools. they're higher income areas, and this is our public school system. It doesn't
Huntington Valley.
Huntington Valley is Upper Moreland,
Lower Moreland.
Lower Moreland.
Yeah,
So,
that's my kids.
yeah,
are
these
going.
schools are amazing. I mean, these schools are like notoriously good. Why? Because there's a lot of money. There's a lot of tax dollars that can get great teachers. These teachers are making
It's still public.
still
right,
public,
okay.
right? These are public schools. But again, it's all kind of tied into money because these are such high income areas. They can afford a $90,000 a year teacher, a $120,000 a year math teacher, right? They don't have to pull any old person out. They can get really quality people. They can have better amenities, better food. All these kinds of things are tied together. It also speaks to our lower income areas, right? Like if you look on the news and you see, like,
Okay, that's it's for you. No, it's because in Georgia people, it's not they are not gonna understand. So we need to explain this a little bit. How it comes high income area and low income area.
yeah.
So how it works.
So
explain people.
Property taxes.
So yes, they don't know. So that's why.
like
I'm
where does the
saying.
money come from, or why
No,
are there why are there
what makes the some area high like better school or not too good school?
Okay, so like it's all going to be wrapped around, if we're talking public school here, and I guess private too, it's just how much money and how many people, right? So if you're in a congested low income area, there's a lot more children that need attention from teachers that can't get it because there might be 40, 50 kids in a class. Also, the parents of these of lower income people, lower income is going to drive their value of education down. It's going to
Low income area. Yeah, it's kind of, but in Georgia it can be like one area, and the incomes can be low and can be too high.
okay.
So,
It's not really like that here.
That's why it's too little bit difficult for
I
them
understand.
to understand.
Okay.
So
So because it's such a free marketplace here, this is trickled down to create very clear divisions in economics. You know, for example, if we drive around in a low income area, we see the houses, a lot of them might be dilapidated. There might be kids not going to school. There's going to be more violence, more drugs. And this is going to be concentrated for the most part, right? Very concentrated. And then when you go into a higher income area, the roads are going to be nicer. It's going to be cleaner. The people that live there are generally going to be maybe put more of a value on education and think that that's important. And let's say I'm a low income person.
and what kicks out lower income people from higher income? It's a local tax, right?
Well, the money that you can make, right? So it all goes back to
money.
yeah.
Okay.
So low income, high income. If you aren't for whatever reason capable of earning money, and there could be a lot of reasons. I'm not saying this is just like a work hard thing. Some people have had problems, or they have mental issues, or they have trauma. Things happen, and they're stuck in a pattern, and they're stuck in this thing, and this is all they know.
Let's say 100 years ago in lower Moreland, somebody had a house and had like income 10,000 a year. But right now, this house can be $1 million, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure.
But maybe their income it's not that high now.
It's called.
So-
It happened in here.
So what they gonna sell it this?
Yes.
Yes,
or
because they get there's high property tax.
because they cannot afford the tax.
value it.
Right.
It's called gentrification.
Depending on where you are, maybe not like Lower Moreland, but like basically, gentrification is more pointing towards mostly, we'll say, minority, maybe an African American neighborhood that has some properties that are dilapidated that are maybe advantageously purchased by developers, and they do a large section of it at a time, and they make it interesting for people with much more money to come in and move in. And
Yeah, but who can stay?
well, that's the problem, right? That's the kind of the problem.
No one's gonna tell you you go out because you're black.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
can
if
stay,
you
but-
if you pay property tax,
It can go. It can go up, but the value of your home can go up. This is like maybe a
No,
conversation.
taxes stay same.
Yeah.
But value it. Now you have $1 million house.
Okay.
Now you gotta decide: should I enjoy 900,000 and buy $100,000 house, or just live in $1 million block?
Right. So and to be fair, like taxes do get reassessed.
Yeah.
So just to be fair, like let's say you live in an old house and and it's totally gentrified. Your house is worth $1,000. They're going to reassess your neighborhood. Eventually, it is going to
It'll
creep
go,
up.
yeah.
It's not going to go to $5,000, right? They're going to look at your individual property for the most part. But that does happen. But as far as like just to zoom out a little bit, not on the specifics of like a lower moreland, in general, income disbursement is very clear. The classes are very clear in the states, which is not something that we're necessarily like proud of, but at the same time, the fabric of America is meritocracy that I talked about. So what that means is you kind of get what you work as hard to get for. As I said, there are barriers that need to be overcome, whatever they might be for you, but that's kind of, can be for everybody.
Meritocracy, like merit.
Meritocratia, yeah.
Merit, like
okay.
merit, like
Okay,
like a first place, you get a medal, like merit, like
you got a Lara like share. You
Yes,
you
yeah.
have your
You have more say.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. A merit is a way of saying that you're doing well in some area because you worked hard. You weren't given anything, you earned it, so you've got merit. So it's a meritocracy. It's kind of what
That's
it is.
what we have in a
Yeah. So it's all these like social things are like tied together, and a lot of them tied together to money, right? So that's why there's this big, heavy influence of how much money you can make in America, because that really dictates where you're going to end up.
and
if
your
that makes
kids.
sense. And of course, yeah, big time. Forget you there's stories every day. I mean, I grew up in a very middle to low income, and then most people that are high level of conscient hard work, we move out to middle, and then middle upper to the upper income, upper class neighborhoods. This is really through grit and determination. There are people that have money like given to them. I'm not one of them, so I can't speak to that.
What is middle up now? 200?
No way. No, less than that. Middle class?
No, upper middle.
It's rich.
Upper middle class, probably 120 to 150. I'm not sure. It depends where you are, because 150 in New York City is nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
In Nebraska, you're rich.
Still,
But it's harder to make in Nebraska 150.
Yes. So if we look at the average, so the whole country, which is not really that great of a measure, because we just said, but I think the average income in the United States is closer to, I think, 60
40,
or 50. It might be 40. Once you get into the 90th percentile, you're well into the hundreds, and to be the top 1%, you're over, I think, 6. I think it's 500,000 or 600,000 a year, and you're in the 1%. Maybe meaning if there's 100 people, average people, you're making more money than 99 of those people. So, and then there's ultra rich people as well that are making money we can't even, dream of.
No, you can dream anywhere.
Yeah. That's true. In America, you can.
Yes,
They
it's
say
an
top
American
1%
dream.
of 1%.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
You got
But
any ideas?
this average, it's not like it's not real numbers, because close to coast like New York and other side,
Yes,
California,
Very different.
it's not gonna be right.
One of the most shocking, surprising things to me was when, Rocky was explaining to me, he's like, you might live in a building and there's a millionaire, and then next door is a guy,
That's what I
nothing.
was saying. Yeah.
So what that does is there's no substantial advantage to being the millionaire, because being the millionaire, you want to be able to reap the benefits of the money that you've made. Right?
And also when you go out, you see poor neighbors every day, how it's gonna
So you're
how it's gonna enjoy at least, right?
So in America, you wake up at 5 a.m., you work here, you build a construction company, you start making a lot of money, and all of a sudden you move to a nicer house. You have more privacy. Like you get it's a merit based,
yeah.
right?
You
get
go
more,
you go more woods inside.
Yeah. And some people love the city, but they move
Right.
from maybe to Center City, beautiful condo downtown. Whatever you like, but you can just live where you want. But in that condo is going to be other rich people, who like to keep things a certain way that you like, so you can navigate and pivot into the direction of the things that you want according to how much you can make, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's what you're saying. That's why in Georgia, it's different life. Even if you make money, you can't like reach that level of life you have here, because it's you go outside and you see like poor people and how you celebrate like.
Couldn't you just go buy a property somewhere that you liked and build a house? Is that?
Yes, you
Yeah, you can do it, but that's not the culture. That's what I'm saying. So for them, it's a normal life.
Okay.
But here, that's like naturally makes like lower income area, middle, rich. So it's like it's not low, right? You need to live there. You need to live there. That's like how his life goes. Yeah. So that's that makes also decentralization,
Right.
of because this social countries for social countries common is everything like spreads all area like and America has a big decentralization, live in all the states, but even inside the city
Yes.
you can. When I just was new here, I lived in Westchester, New York, upstate, and it was a city like expensive area, and next to it was let's say middle class. And when in the winter when was a snow, the street was cleaned
On your side.
the side and other side it was not clean.
That's a great example of what we mean by it goes so deep into the little tiny things that money gets, and a free market can get. So that's a great example.
Market regulates.
That's how it is here. That's how it is here.
Market.
Okay, we talked guns, we talked army.
Why won't it, you obviously you know this, but you know this woman.
Let me see. This woman.
No, don't tell.
No, but it's looking like the justice woman. But no, what is this?
What impressions does
like
these two components give you?
It looks like there's a sword in one hand, and the other is supposed to be the balance of power, something like that. Is this supposed to be?
That's what Ucha says.
It's supposed to be like an imbalance of power. Like if you don't agree with me, we kill you.
It's actually a jar of wine.
Okay.
And the way they explain is Georgia is well known guest-loving country. I don't know, translating directly. So if you come to Georgia with good intention, we offer you wine.
I see.
With a jar. Georgia is oldest winemaking nation. 8,000 years ago they started winemaking. But if you have bad intention, you are in trouble.
You hit the sword.
Yes.
Cool.
So that's
and this
motto.
called in Mother of Georgia.
So we made this this is actually, what's the word? Base of our podcast,
Microphone.
What is the American lady saying? Okay, we just said what she's saying.
Right. So
What is she saying?
So well, she said there's a the famous. I don't know if the placard's on there, but something like "Give me you're tired, you're poor, disenfranchised." It's supposed to be a welcome to all people, like regardless.
The book or what is
That's
it?
a constitution.
Yes.
Constitution. Yeah.
I think so. No?
Education.
And this is a light, like it's education gives you bright. I mean,
Sure.
it's
Yep.
bright, more bright than light. And this was French people
Is gift.
gift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that was supposed to be like the first thing you saw when you're coming to Ellis Island, which is where
Yes.
people
Yeah.
immigrated into.
And she sits in an American car.
That's convenient. That's funny.
Any
That's cool.
other topic comes to your mind?
I wanted to show this video like how socialism works in a real.
დავიღე ზომები ყველაფერი მოგვიწესრიგა და დავხტარე დასაცაც ხელი ხო შევკბილდენ მეორე დღეს უნდა შეესვა და დავხტარე გასა უგვილო აღარც დიაღარაბიტოს აღარც და ჩემი თახა დეიზაღეზო აღარ ჩამოხვიდეთო კბილები დაგვაწრეს შემდეგ დაგვირეკეს რომელს ეგეს არჩევნები რო ახლოვდებოდა დაგვირეკოს რომ ისავო სტომატოლოგები აღარ ჩამოდიენო და ნუ შეიწუხებთ ნუ ჩამოხვართო
ასუხისგებაშიდაც რომ მიეცათ ჩვენი თავრობა მაინც
ავიგე იმ ღიმილიანის საქართველოს რაღაც პროექტი ყოფილა კბილებთან დაკავშირებით. ჩვენც მერი აქ საბჭოს თავმჯდომარემ შემოგვითვალა რომ დაიყარეთ თავი, ვისაც პრობლემა გაქვთ კბილებზე, არის ასეთი პროექტი, წამოვძანდით და გაიკეთეთ კბილები პრეზიდენტის ფონდიაო. ჩვენც მოვიყარეთ თავი რამოდენიმე ადამიანმა წაგვიყვანეს დაგვაძრეს შვილო კბილები, ერთად ამომიღეს 15 კბილი დედა და დაამტოვეს უკბილო შვილო. მივედი დაგვიბარეს გარკვეული დროის შემდეგ ის აგვიღეს ზომები, ჯერ ერთი ზომა აგვიღეს, მეორე ზომა აგვიღეს შვილო.
Okay, so basically what happened is this whatever party promised we take care of your dental problems. So people believed in it. Like you said in the beginning. Remember you said it's
Yeah.
all fake, I don't believe
Yeah, they just make shit up. Yeah.
So that was a promise. So they removed the people believed in it. And this lady saying they removed 15 of my teeth.
Mm-hmm.
But then they said, okay, come back in 2 weeks.
Right.
But in 1 week there was election.
Right.
So it's over.
Yeah.
Now I don't care about your dental
Jeez.
problems. So now she's left without teeth.
No, and the elections they lost it.
They lost. They didn't care.
Yeah.
And some other party
Yeah,
came.
this would be a crime here. It would. This would be a crime. 100%. That's a crime. I don't know the name of it,
So
but
if you elected me, I would change it.
Yeah.
But okay, I lost.
yeah, no, we certainly can't legally offer health benefits, directly like that. You could say on your platform that we're looking to make sure that people get health insurance and things like that, but you could never promise. That's essentially a bribe.
No, that was the smallest bribe.
Maybe just the most obvious one.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so then the last, and we finish for this time,
Wrap it up.
but we're gonna, I'm sure you can, we can talk again and
Sure.
do another one for another hot topics.
Yeah, sure.
We did major job, we did it.
Yeah. Yep.
But for last one, next year is election. So what do you think who is gonna we get? It's a top, I know. but-
Yeah. It's a really tough election year, and I think a lot's going to happen in the next couple months because we're kind of left. It's happened before where your choices you don't want to pick either one. I'd like to see. Actually, this is important. One thing about the United States that could change is the two-party system. A lot of people feel like two parties is not enough, and that the Democratic Party has gotten to be too fanatical on the left, and the Conservative Party is not lightening up and becoming just a little bit more central in some of their opinions. Like, I'll give an example. Ron DeSantis, right? Like, so he's a good shot at the Republican nomination, but their stance on, for example, like abortion, to tell all the American people that you're absolutely against something that just sometimes makes common sense in some ways is really bad platform. Like, I really don't feel good about the Republican Party at all, because the Democrats already have 50%, and all you got to do is turn off a portion at that point of the Republican side. So if half of the Republicans are like, well, sometimes people need it, things happen, you can't have a radical view like that. You've got to. I think both sides, if they came a little bit more center, things would look a little bit better. I don't know what to say about the next election. I wish that we had and there is another party that actually I find interesting, which is called the No Labels Party. It's a centrist party that we were just talking about. And its logo is common sense, the pamphlet. It's kind of similar to what you're doing. It's looking at things from a more centrist view, where we're just more compassionate to certain people.
No labels party?
It's called nolabels.org. Yeah, it's interesting.
So you're not necessarily I wanted to ask that question, why libertarians can't win, like freedom lovers, liberty lovers
right.
can't win.
Well, and I would probably, like, if I had to classify myself, I'd be like an independent or a libertarian, something like that. But because you don't want to waste your vote, because we know that most people are going to vote either Democrat or Republican. So when you go, and let's say that I'm somebody who's more of an independent, I vote for that independent candidate, they almost can never win. So you're just taking votes away from the person that you more agree with, right? So I have to say that I'm always, I'm like a registered Republican, right? So I'm registered that way. But I certainly don't agree with everything that they stand for. But I'm somebody that believes in
you think they are more closer to your views than
well, yeah, for sure, in a lot of ways.
The Democrats.
It's very, very interesting. He said it several times today, if you noticed. It's very good point. Like when you like centrists.
Yes.
You say that word like 5 times already.
Yes.
We say like right, like we're leaning to right. Like libertarians, left is crazy, bad, blah blah blah.
Right.
But you're not saying right. You're saying like
it's more centered.
You call it common sense. You're calling it whatever.
Right. And one of the big things is keeping just in the back of our mind to be like we can't just say, this is coming from me, a registered Republican, we can't just say that things are always fair, although I'm a big believer in, work your ass off, and I think everybody can do that. But there's things that have happened in people's lives, and there's some people that need some compassion. There's people that have made mistakes. And I think we could lighten up in some areas from the right side, the conservative side, to just keep in mind that we gotta first of all, you're not going to win an election saying nobody can have an abortion anywhere it's illegal. It happens, right? It happens to people, like things like that, or at the same time, I can't possibly. I mean, as far as what I agree with, I'm way more over here. Like, I don't have to deal with that, but I can see how people could, and I have to have some sense of compassion for those kind of people and other people. So going far to the right, really far to the right here, I think is a little bit counterintuitive to like where we ultimately want to go, which is just being common sense, which is kind of, I think, more in the middle. Like, I would call myself a moderate conservative, right? Kind of in the middle of that conservative without being over here, but keeping in mind that it's important to keep the social issues and listening and having conversations to get better in those areas. But back to the election, Yeah, I don't think there's any good choices. Why don't people?
But that's like your vote is fake then. Like, I don't have choice. I have to vote Republican.
Yeah, I mean,
That's bad. You don't have choice. Third
it
choice.
is. Yeah, it's a shame. You know. Now,
Which is problem in Georgia too.
I will say, Matt, in the '90s, Ross Perot ran as a independent and almost won. So I will say that that's not totally true, because when a good independent comes and they're just on fire, and people aren't happy with either side, it has happened where independents get really close, like almost win or get close, right? And then also, you do have a choice when you have a candidate that you really like. Like, to be frank, I like Donald Trump in his first election, because the things he was, I mean, it was just so bluntly obvious. Clearly, he didn't want the corruption. He couldn't be bought. I liked the fact that he was a business person. There was a lot not to like about him from other people. I liked his charisma and things like that. But his viewpoints, to me, he was good, but he was his own worst enemy, I think, with the ego and just in that. So if we could find
So now you don't like it?
well, if he's the candidate, you know, like I kind of have to vote Republican. Certainly if it's Joe Biden, I mean, he's, you know, I don't want to insult like elderly people, but he's clearly getting really old. He's out of touch. He's very easily influenced, I think now, you know, just like when, you know, when somebody wants to sell their house and their kids get it, like you can influence old people when they start to lose it. I think he's really starting to lose it. There was a time when he was...
Besides this, it's pretty close to communism.
In what way?
Like in social programs and stuff like that.
Yes, giving things away is communism,
Right.
for sure. So
Encouraging laziness.
yeah,
Whatever.
yeah, right.
Not
Like, so
work.
you're right. So we have to be very careful of, you know, what we're doing. Luckily, there's a vast majority of people on both sides that don't agree with, you know, not working or not putting effort out.
So you think in 2024 Trump has more chance to take it?
No.
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 No, this morning I got New York Times email every morning.
Then it's gonna be Biden again?
14% is
Yeah,
only
probably.
undecided, are only for 14%.
Mhm.
It's like split 41 to something like 40, whatever.
And it's
Why
Are you talking about Biden and Trump or within the party?
Yeah, they were like topics. Polls were about topics, but biggest poll was about persons.
And it was split?
It was 44, 42. Trump was losing, and 14% just rejected, like denied to
Answering.
answer.
Huh.
Yeah.
I thought it was a wider margin than that, but people are getting very upset with Joe Biden. So,
Yeah.
you know, we'll see how it plays out. But I mean, I've already talked about how I feel, and you know, if it came down to a Biden and Trump thing,
when you see the numbers, it's went worse. Like Biden's numbers are way worse than Trump.
Well, people aren't happy with him, and people aren't exactly happy with Trump in some ways. You know, but there's just always that huge population of people that are going to vote that way anyway, and I'm kind of one of those people.
The name you mentioned, Ross Perot?
Ross Perot, yeah.
What was his percentage?
I
That's
forget,
a
but
Florida governor.
this was like...
Did he even have a chance? I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, he was really close. Really close. He was
So
one
that's
of
the biggest
that's
third
the biggest
party
one.
in history.
Yeah, that almost... Now he was a billionaire. He was an oil man.
How many years ago?
This was in the 90s. I think he was up against
Okay,
Bush.
technology wasn't there. Now, like you said, it's if you like personality, like Joe Rogan has fucking billion viewers, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the world.
That we're gonna have in 2 years.
Yeah, I want him to be the president.
So, I mean, not Joe Rogan, maybe not the figure person for president, but Elon Musk, whatever. I want to run.
Well, Robert F. Kennedy's coming out strong now
Yeah.
too. You know, there's other people.
I
So,
think behind a third party has to be big name.
yes. for
Otherwise,
sure.
they don't have chance.
Yep. Yep. We'll see how it goes, or maybe somebody comes out of the woodwork that's a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
We'll see. You know, we'll see how it goes. But
George, Any other topic you want to talk? I think we touched
I
everything.
forgot this. Who is Florida governor?
That's Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, he's gonna try too, no?
Yeah. He's doing, I think, pretty well in the polls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him. I did.
He's a Republican.
Yes. Yep.
So
He's a veteran. He's
and
young.
yeah,
Smart.
if he's gonna beat the Trump, I think it's gonna be good.
Maybe. He's also, Trump's looking at a lot of lawsuits that can take a lot out of you.
Yes,
And Biden's getting old. I think actually we're going to be surprised. Something's going to happen where
yeah,
other
I think
people are
so.
introduced.
We can see now,
Yeah.
but it's gonna come.
Especially with Joe Biden. I mean, I think that they'll find.
Yeah, how the Democrats can improve their candidates. You cannot be 50 years one candidate
Yeah.
Joe Biden.
Yeah. Well, I think.
Even Hillary Clinton was not.
Well, Robert Kennedy is probably the next big name, I think, to come out of that side. Who's an interesting.
Yeah, but it's unwritten rule that they don't challenge existing president, right?
No, it's not a rule.
What do you mean?
Joe Biden would not have challenge from Democratic Party.
Well, in the nomination, I mean, there's the nomination coming up. So, when they have to pick.
Formal.
Yeah. So
So
ultimately.
if he say, okay, I'm not gonna run for presidency, then that's it, right?
Yeah, but right now Biden is going to run. At least that's his stance.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to debate all the other nominees
Primary.
in the primary.
Still have to?
Yeah.
Oh,
He might
no.
not go, and he probably won't go, but he's supposed to. Yeah, they're supposed to debate.
So then it's gonna be hard to win president.
Yeah.
Because he gonna fall asleep.
Yeah. I know. Well,
On debate.
he's probably not going to attend. He probably won't go. That's probably what will happen there.
Yeah, so I don't know. I hope
Yeah. But,
somebody will show
No,
up.
here's the thing, and my buddy says the same thing. No matter who gets elected, right? No matter who gets elected, we still have our founding documents. We still have It's still
Exactly.
Honestly, to me, frankly, I don't give a fuck because I'm still gonna wake up. I'm still gonna outwork everybody. I'm still gonna do the best for my kids. I'm still gonna protect my family. Nobody's ever gonna take my gun. Nobody's ever gonna take anything from me. I'm very capable. So I think that, especially if we want to wrap it up on the average American.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It affects us way less, I think, than what we think. We might want to look at our local, city, county, and state elected officials even more so than
Which
one
we
guy.
don't know names.
Yeah, we don't even know
exactly.
names. We don't even follow.
I don't know who is mayor of my
Huntington
whatever.
Valley, right?
Yeah.
Who's
and I don't even,
right? So,
next to me could be billionaire living.
Yeah.
He cuts grass on Sundays and he doesn't care.
What Ed say now, that's big point too, because whoever will be president here, nobody can touch your constitutional right.
exactly. Right. And that's all you
But
need.
in Russia, if Putin resigns, it's gonna be touch every single person there.
Yeah.
Even people who cleaning the streets.
Yeah, everyone's affected.
Yeah, it's gonna
Here,
be.
here, they
So that's why they are from there. They watching U.S. presidential election.
Mhm.
Okay, now when Trump won. Okay, Trump wants. That's it. America will be different. I
Yeah.
won't saying. No, it can be slided,
Yeah. No.
right?
One guy.
But nobody, one person can.
Yep. As I
can do
said
anything.
from the beginning, the whole point is we the people, us sitting here, are more powerful than anybody in the government. Now, of course, they're endowed with the power that we give them to vote certain ways. But the point is, if you want to make it in America, it doesn't really fucking matter at all who's sitting in the White House. If they raise the tax rates a little bit, they might. Make more. This is America. There's a saying in America.
Yeah,
It's
but
America.
they have 4 years, and the people is gonna answer. That.
Right. Yeah, they're going to be very upset with that. Now you
Yes.
got to deal with that. But the saying around here is, "This is America. Make more fucking money."
Right.
Right. So if they raise the
Yeah.
taxes and you got to pay 10 more, make 20 more. This is what it's set up for.
Yeah, so that's why.
But they could mess with you for 4 years. Then it's up to you again.
Yep.
No, yeah, but on
And
a
you cannot change president name to prime minister and you be the same person like Putin did.
Right. Yeah, you can't do that. Here.
Yeah, first
Again, in the Constitution, he can run for 4 years,
Yeah.
and then he can run for 4 more, and that's it.
yes,
They did
but
that-
then he changed name and premier minister can
Yep.
blah blah blah.
Nah,
now
you
you
can't-
became.
Can't do that.
Then you change again and then
No, we don't make up rules as we
Yes.
go along.
because that is written
yeah,
already.
yep. And we make
Those-
up laws to improve on what we have, but we don't change the foundation.
I think that's a presidential election in America. It's more important for foreign countries.
Yeah, me too. Well, that's
and
what they.
foreign policy
These people-
than for us.
You're so right, George. Because when you look at what the president handles on a day-to-day basis, the actual material they publish it on their website. It's all foreign
Yeah,
relations.
because they know
They're-
they can't touch
Yeah,
much.
like there's
Inside.
people, the Congress and the House and the states and the federal. There's so many people that are handling the day to day of America that their big thing is making sure we don't have issues outside, and we have so many dealings and so many. They're looking at more of that kind of stuff. You know?
Yeah, but that's why outside of US they are worrying more than we are
So,
worrying.
Yes.
It's like we electing
Support-
president of world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is, and
It's American because they call it Super Bowl champions. They call it
Yeah.
world champions.
World
I
champion,
mean,
yeah.
they only played in America.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
How
Well,
are they-
there's
yeah, because there are no other.
World Series. How
World
is it
Series.
World Series in
No,
America?
it is world if you are only you.
Yeah,
How?
we didn't talk
You
about
didn't-
like I don't know if it's true, but I think there's sometimes people think Americans are a little arrogant, think they're the best at everything, and like maybe some of it is true. We're not the best at everything, and I don't think we're arrogant. We're just hardworking, good people. Like 98% of people, I think, really are just normal.
No, like as you say, it's not American. It's not one nation.
Yeah,
Right.
millions of
So,
different types.
Yeah,
of people.
what makes like it depends how you do your frame laws and your view, like how government sees their people and people how sees the government. Like it can be same people and totally different results. Like South Korea and North Korea, it's the same people, same culture, same language, everything same,
Yep.
same history. And look now South Korea, Samsung, at least, and look at North Korea.
Yeah.
So it's not like we are great people. We have great like Jefferson, George Washington, who did like great, who get the like mind sitting like drinking the whiskey,
Yeah.
and we came like Georgians, and it's like your partner. You say it's a Georgian, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like successful and like
Yes.
normal like American, but his maybe relatives lives in Georgia.
Yeah, mhm.
They are not that successful. So that's what it is.
Mhm.
So human, it can be like it depends. We are how environment you like acting.
Yes, exactly. That's what
So-
that's human nature. Is they're going to
That's a
mimic the
human nature.
environment.
So that's
Yeah.
why America is best, because it's a main thing is a human.
Yep, it's created
And
an
a
environment.
citizen.
Yeah, that what
So-
that we human
As you
beings.
say, citizen has more power than whole government.
Human beings don't do well under control or duress or stress. You know, all these kinds of things from coming from somewhere else. So just the freedom to be able to kind of like operate and navigate your life without any type of like real control of where you can do certain
Like
things.
free market.
Yeah, it's
push you like
Right.
what you can do better.
Yes, yeah, you can do whatever you want. Again, as ambitious as you want to be, or you can be a hermit and live in the woods. You could do whatever you want. But as I said, it's very much ingrained. Remember, this is a whole entire nation of immigrants. Nobody's really like, I mean, I'm American, you're American, but like we all are coming from somewhere. But the fabric that kind of holds us all together is that we all came here, melted together, and we know we all need to work really hard. And I think that's from God too. I think that if we look to nature, everything is working nonstop. You know, if they say like, look at a bee's nest, they wake up early, they work all day, right? They go back. We should mimic what God's already created, and that means hard work and working together and, you know, doing the next right thing.
Yes, but they are different view. Like the animals, they don't work, but they still living.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe. Maybe.
So why we are working?
Yeah. Well, they are working. You know, they are.
Yeah. So another view from these lazy people
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
they are not working.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
But they need to hunt at least, right?
They have to
Go
hunt,
hunting,
build, yeah.
risk it.
Yeah, just the first human beings had to hunt, build, work all day. You know, that's the nature of being a human being is
Okay,
working.
we are good more than 3 hours. God bless America.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ed.
Yeah, thanks.
And thank you again, and we hope you'll be back next time. So
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll talk about, see what's going on with this election.
Hope you'll be celebrity in Georgia when Irakli takes you vacation.
That'd be cool.
That means we got million views.
All right.
Eddie, thank you.
Gomer Joba. All right. Thanks, man.
thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Thank you.